Hey folks, it's Lindsey Hudson with SPS back in the building for another SPS Monday Motivation. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. It's always great to get through the weekend and have a positive attitude getting up on Monday. They say this is when the most heart attacks happen, between 8 and 10 a.m. because people go to places that they don't want to be. But hey, we got all our lives to plan on what we want to do next. And I only ask that you focus on what's really best for you. So your Mondays can be exciting and you can be grateful to start off a new week compared to worrying about where you have to end up in the next few hours. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you so much for being a faithful supporter of SPS all the time. And today's topic is winning in overtime in sports and life. That's right. I try to pull from the headlines and passion in sports, no doubt, as a sports psychology consultant with media credentials, but couldn't help but seeing all the things that were happening in sports this weekend. Overtime, overtime, overtime. It started with a triple overtime. That's right, three overtimes. UCLA lost to Arizona State. Then you saw the Lakers go into overtime and find success over the Knicks. I can always remember. Brother Marshall, good morning. Good morning, brother. We're talking about winning in overtime in sports and life. You know about those OT games. I remember some 20 years ago, if you could look over my shoulder, over my right shoulder, you would see a photograph of my time with Governor Jennifer Granholm's office. And this is us when she was inaugurated. We were at Ford Field. And let's see, you probably can't see my cursor move, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these gentlemen are members of the governor's security detail. Great guys, all members of the Michigan State Police. But there in front of me is my guy, Jerome. Of course, that's Dan Mulhern, the first gentleman, and of course, the governor. But standing behind me is my guy, Norm Lipscomb. Norm Lipscomb has retired from the Michigan State Police, but he was one of the members of the security detail, and me and Norm would hang out a lot. I would train with Norm, and Norm would always give me the insight on, when I would do the governor's advance. I would be the political person to go, ahead before she got there, and Norm would be the security person, and he would teach me how to sweep rooms. He would teach me how to, look for things that the bad guys would try to do to hurt, someone like the governor, et cetera. But we would train sometime. We would go run it. But Norm would always tell me, so you got to always have something left in the tank, because in his role, he would train or maybe run with the governor or the first gentleman or someone else, and he had to be ready in case there was an incident. So no matter what, you always had to have more. So that may contradict a lot of coaches out there, Kevin, who say leave it all on the floor. But sometimes you're going to be asked to give more in overtime. Sometimes that overtime comes out of nowhere. In many cases, you can kind of see it coming. You got two well-matched teams, but it happens. So what do you do when it's time to go on overtime? Not just in sports and basketball, football, but also in life. Here's a few things. What is overtime defined as? It's time in addition to what is normal. As time work beyond one's scheduled working hours. We all know what overtime means on the job. That means you got to stay around a little bit long, but it also means some more money. So there's a benefit. What overtime also is games that are particularly stressful for some athletes. Because here you are, probably got a lot of extra fouls if you're playing basketball. You expect it to be done. Your body is physically and mentally conditioned to just the certain amount of time you normally play, those 2 halves, those 4 quarters, but now you got to play a little bit longer. And there's reason for increased pressure in overtime situations, but also in life. Let's say you're trying to work towards a new opportunity and it doesn't happen. Let's try to say something has happened on your job that you didn't expect. So now it's this increased pressure, or not even job related. Let's just say things going on in your personal life that you weren't expecting, but now you got to give more. Now you got an overtime situation. Kevin says, yes, you have to say something for anything that may happen. There you go, Kevin. That's it right there. You got to save something for anything that may happen, because we know in life things always do happen. There are other things that we can't prepare for. So what I want to do is share some information that I received, in some of my research. And this was from Peak Performance Sports, and they focus on instilling confidence for a competitive edge. They're also in the sports psychology field, and they have some great things they posted. We're talking about dealing with overtime. And remember, we can analogize this not only to sports, but also to life. You may want to get the game over quickly instead of patiently waiting for opportunities to score. So you just do things like in that Arizona State UCLA game. I saw one of their star players pull from like 30 feet out. It was like, dude, what are you doing? But I think the mentality was, let me try to make a big play, even though it may not be the best play. Same thing with life. Sometimes we want to cut corners. We just want to be done with something because we're feeling this pressure and this stress. We want to just alleviate it and move on, but that is not always the best thing to do. Also, you might want to be the hero and win the game for the team instead of getting your teammates involved or playing as a unit. You know about that, Kevin. Guys get to playing hero ball. They trying to just say, man, I'm just going to do it on my own, but you don't have to do that. You got there as a team. Teamwork always beats playing as an individual in many cases. You got to keep that in mind. Also, you may feel the team depends on you to guide the team to victory. You may feel that pressure. I got to do it. Whether you're in a relationship, you feel, hey, I got to carry everything. Whether you're at your job, when people don't do their job and they look to you, you may feel all this, and it may feel that the team is depending on you. I can understand that, but you got to be able to manage that. And playing with excessive pressure rarely results in peak performance. This is good to know. If you're allowing the pressure to take complete control of you, you're not going to perform at your best. Physically, mentally, the body does not respond to that because when the body goes to stress type situations, it tightens up. Things don't become loose and free. So you're not necessarily at your best when you're playing under a pressure type condition with a pressure type mindset. The key to producing in overtime, whether it's sports and life, is managing the pressure and playing within yourself. Now, key word is what we said, managing. We'll talk about that. We is better than me. There you go, coach. Coach said it right there. We is better than me. You got a little bit of help, a little bit of backup, And like we say, the key to producing in overtime, whether it's sports and life, is managing the pressure and playing within yourself. Let's say you got a pressure situation when you go out the door this morning. Monday or Sunday, because you had the weekend to relax and not think about things, but you're walking back into a job, you may have something waiting on your desk. You're walking back into a situation where you're thinking about all these things I got to do going into the week. All these things are happening, But here's a good thing right here. Managing pressure does not mean eliminating pressure, folks. It means reacting well to pressure situations. Lindsay, what do you mean? I talk to my clients, when they have things on their mind. And the one thing you can't do with the human brain is stop thoughts. I don't want to think about that. You can't stop it because when you actually say, I don't want to think about said thing, you just did it. And the brain is such that, it just responds and it's going to bring those things up. So we talk about letting those thoughts pass through. Acknowledging those thoughts, but let them pass through instead of trying to put a hand up and stop the air conditioning from putting out air. It just won't work. So it's all about managing the pressure, folks. You're in an overtime situation in sports or in life. How do you manage the pressure and not eliminate it? It's still a pressure-filled situation, but you're going to manage it and you're going to react well to the pressure situations by doing that. That's something to keep in mind. Embrace the pressure as something that will elevate your game and give you more energy to perform. Okay, man, it's pressure, man. The crowd is loud. We're still going, man. I know anything can happen. This is going to help me play better. Same thing with what you have going on in life. Hey, man, I got to get this thing done. But, hey, this is going to allow me to be the best version of myself. This is great. This is what I'm ready for. I've been waiting for this moment. Here we are. I'm going to be the best version of myself. Okay, and a few more things, folks. Use breathing, stretching, and stand in the moment and trust your skills to perform well under pressure. Here's the thing. Don't expect to not have practice. Don't expect to not have worked on your craft in sports or in life and expect these huge opportunities going to come. The whole point is that you are ready when the pressure situation comes up because you have worked for it. You have planned. You have worked hard. You've been putting in your work. You have made yourself better. So when the pressure situation presents itself, boom, you can step up. We're not going to go from not practicing to expecting you're going to hit, key free throws down the line. We're not going to go from not reading up on the subject matter or preparing for something, then trying to present yourself in that role to go forward and do really well. You got to put the work in. That's why when pressure situation comes, you can manage it and not worry about necessarily having to eliminate that. And finally, play within yourself and try not to force the action while playing in overtime. Play within yourself. That's being present in the moment. I know that's hard and difficult because sometimes we don't really want to just, take a moment and be present. But when you're present, you can be in control of that situation right there. No doubt. Michelle says, manage the pressure. Don't let the pressure manage you. There you go. Coming from a true leader, telling your players over there at New Breed Track Club, manage the pressure. Don't let the pressure manage you. Excellent, excellent advice we got this morning. So with that, folks, I won't keep you too much longer. I hope this is something that you can take some things, bro, as we approach the 10-minute mark. Hey, it's Monday. It's going to be all right. You'll get through it. Think about right now. Just manage this moment right now. The moment you're listening to this broadcast, you are in complete control. Don't worry about what's happening in the future. I saw something recently, and I'm going to always repeat this. It said, depression is when you focus too much on the past. Anxiety comes, you focus too much on the future. Stay present in this moment. And sometimes we don't like to be present because we don't like what's going on with ourselves. There's self-hate, and, we're hyper-critical of ourselves. But just stay in this moment. Don't judge yourself, and be the best version of who you can be. With that, guys, I won't keep you. Looking forward to being out here this week. SPS will be getting out, supporting some of our young people real soon. You have some more things coming up soon. Thanks to our sponsors as well. Shout out to Urban Grill. Shout out to Young Fly Flashing as well. We'll see you guys soon. Appreciate you. Take care.